Hey, what's up guys, TotallyDubbed here, and today I'm doing a video review on the Philips 272P4QPJKEB. My god, it's hard to say. This is a 27-inch PLS monitor that runs at 144p at 60 Hz. It has a normal response time of 12 milliseconds, but that can be boosted down to 6 milliseconds. It can be found on Amazon for around £425. Obviously, the region depends, so you can find it for a little bit cheaper, a little bit more expensive, but that's the review price I'm going to be basing on, £425. So as I stated the specs already, there's certain other things that I should mention, and this will be linking into the build quality. So first of all, the inputs. You've got DVI-D, you've got DisplayPort in and out, therefore you can daisy chain this monitor, and you've got 2 HDMI slots, which is brilliant. The only thing missing there is VGA, but who uses VGA anyway? Then you've got a USB 3.0 port that can be found on the left hand side of the monitor. Then finally you've also got a audio in and out if you were gonna need it. Finally, I should also mention on the right hand side you've got a little power switch, which is great for saving that extra little bit of power, so therefore you're not utilizing any power whilst on standby. It's a great little implementation, very easily accessible on the right hand side of the monitor, and I very much do suggest, if you've got that option there, to save a little bit of energy by doing that. It's always good to stay a little bit green despite having powerhouses in terms of gaming PCs. Anyway, speaking about the inputs, let me go on to the build quality. Now the build quality of this monitor is actually very good, and I very much like it. The monitor can pivot, rotate and tilt in all different ways, and also can be adjusted. So I really do like how this monitor feels, can be adjusted in all different types of ways, and the actual monitor itself is quite sturdy. The only thing is, I would have preferred the bezel to be just a little bit thinner, potentially half the size of the current bezel at the bottom. The top bezel doesn't bother me too much because there's actually a little webcam which is up there, which is great to have, and the side bezels are fine. Just the bottom bezel would have been a little bit nice if it was just half that. But it's not a big deal, it's just something I should mention. So overall, build quality is impressive, yet again from Philips, doing a great job. The inputs that you get are great as well, and there's nothing really missing there for me to note. Now, what about the actual performance of the monitor? So first of all, the picture quality. It's sensational. Due to having that PLS panel, you get really nice, accurate color reproduction. I read a few online reviews and I was very much surprised to see people complaining about the color reproduction, saying it looks completely off. I'm not sure if they have forgotten to get into the settings or if they've not configured their PC correctly. I have no idea, but all I can say is, going through the pictures, that the image quality is very, very nice. At 144p, of course, you get that lovely, rich amount of pixels into that 27-inch monitor, and therefore you get really nice pictures. On top of that, it doubles up as video. When you're watching movies, it looked really beautiful, but good luck finding a 144p movie. But you know, watching 1080p movies, it looked really nice. So anyway, color reproduction was really good. However, I do have a slight complaint. It's the overall brightness of the monitor. The overall brightness of the monitor, despite being 100% in the settings, so I'm just going to go via the touchscreen buttons at the bottom right, you can see that the brightness is 100%. Well, hopefully you can see that. It's there 100. So I am just a little bit surprised to find that despite being the brightness 100% and no other settings such as smart contrast regulating the brightness, that it was just a bit too dim for me. I have no idea why this is the case. I can't really comment on that, but all I can say is that in comparison to other monitors, this didn't go as bright as I was expecting it to do so, which is slightly a shame, because the colors, I wanted them to jump out a little bit more, and that would have been possible with a little extra brightness. As in 1 or 2 notches more, for me personally, would have been great. Also, I'm mentioning this because if you have a very sunny room or a sunny environment, then you're probably going to want to bump up the brightness even more, and this is going to be unfortunate for you because you're not going to be able to do so. So do bear that in mind. Now, I should also mention something I kind of glazed over in the build quality section is the actual features that you get. You've got a webcam at the top over here with built-in microphone, which is great, and then you've got these power save sensors. Now these are actually quite simple. All they do is turn off or dim your screen as soon as you leave the monitor for a certain amount of time, and this can be activated via the menu. As you can see, power sensor on and off. I've got it off right now because sometimes it thinks that I'm not there because I'm standing up and not sitting down right now doing this review. But power save actually worked quite good. It is a little bit of hit and miss, it just really depends, a little bit hit and miss here and there, but overall it works. So it's great to see Philips being a little bit more green minded in order to save a little bit of energy. Finally, let me talk about the gaming experience. Now this is in no way, shape or form a gaming grade monitor, simply because of its 12 milliseconds quoted response time, and let alone its 6 milliseconds G2G performance, which kind of hampers the motion blur. Now, when I was testing this, you know, I should test it in all different types, of ways, and in this case I tested it on Battlefield 4, and I found the monitor not to be that acceptable when it came to gaming. I found that there was a little bit of, well, when I say a little bit, noticeable input lag when going left and right, for example, and when running, for example, and moving, I noticed a bit of motion blur, especially when shooting around. And this was a little bit of a shame. I just felt that this monitor wasn't really made up for gaming at all. Now, I do realize it wasn't really developed in the first place for gaming, but it would be nice if it was just a little bit more responsive. It just felt a bit laggy, and it just really restricts its market. At least gamers could have potentially enjoyed it, but in this respect I would really stay away from it if you're a gamer. So if we just exit gaming itself, for example Battlefield 4, and talk about the overall thoughts about this monitor. Overall, I found this monitor to be decent. It's not great, its colours are brilliant, luminance isn't that great, and its gaming performance is not that great. So overall, what do I think of this monitor? Well, at the high price tag of about £425, I feel it's quite hard. £425. I find it a little bit hard to recommend, simply because I think it's a very niche market in order to hit, and on top of that, designers or people which are very analytical about their video or picture editing will want a brighter screen. They won't want a screen that's a little bit too dim, and in this case the monitor is a bit too dim. The only thing I could recommend in this monitor is the fact that you can view pictures very nicely and you can view videos very nicely, but do bear in mind that luminance thing that I was talking about, and of course do bear in mind the price you're going to be paying. It's quite a lot of money to be shelling out for such a monitor, but you know, it is a good performing monitor. Despite some of the reviews that I read about its color reproduction, I find that really weird, because the color reproduction to me is bang on accurate. So very nice color reproduction. Anyway guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure you like, comment and subscribe. It's always nice to know your opinions, and of course subscribe if you want to see more, and definitely favorite and share this video to share with your friends and family. Anyway guys, I've been Totally Dubbed, and this has been the Philips 1440p monitor, which is the 272P4QPJKEB. Take care guys, Totally Dubbed out. Bye bye.